Disabled black girl humiliated by bullies, unaware she is a martial arts prodigy. Before we dive in this story, hit the comments and tell us your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. If you liked the video, please subscribe. They laughed when she rolled into the school gym in her wheelchair, whispering cruel words and tossing glances like daggers. To them, she was weak, an easy target. A black girl with a disability, what could she possibly do? They didn't know about the dojo, the hours of silent discipline. The movements she practiced with precision rivaled those of professionals. But that day, when they grabbed her chair and mocked her in front of the entire class, they awakened something they couldn't control. What happens when strength hides in silence? Watch until the end. Talia James was just 16 and already tired of being underestimated. Born with a spinal condition, she'd spent her whole life hearing what she couldn't do. However, what they didn't know was that her father, a retired Marine, had been training her in adaptive martial arts since she was 8. Her arms? Stronger than most. Her reflexes? Lightning fast. But in school, all they saw was her chair. At Wilson High, being both black and disabled meant she was nearly invisible until it was time to be picked on. Still, she kept her head down, focused on her future. She dreamed of competing in the Paralympic martial arts circuit. She just wanted peace. But peace was never an option, not when a group of bullies decided to turn the school assembly into her public humiliation. And that's when everything changed. The assembly was meant to celebrate student talents, but when it ended, the gym buzzed with students lingering in the bleachers. That's when Bryce and his crew made their move. Loud, arrogant, unchecked. "Hey, Wheels, bet you can't even defend yourself," he sneered. Talia froze. She knew this game. She'd seen it before, laughter wrapped in cruelty. Before she could roll away, one boy reached out and yanked her backpack. Another kicked her chair. The crowd laughed. A few phones came out. She heard someone say, "Just ignore it," but no one stepped in. That's when they tried to tip her over. Talia gripped her wheels and stopped the tilt in midair. Years of core training kicked in. She spun the chair sharply, knocking the closest boy's shin. He howled. "Back off," she warned. But they didn't. One lunged, trying to grab her arms. That's when she launched into a controlled flurry, an elbow block, a spinning palm strike. Gasps filled the gym. The crowd parted like water. Talia didn't want violence, but they gave her no choice. Her hands moved fast, precise, and focused. In under a minute, 3 boys were flat on the gym floor, stunned but unharmed. The silence was deafening. A teacher ran in too late. Talia sat in the middle of the gym, her breath steady. Bryce scrambled up, humiliated, rage in his eyes until he saw the principal arrive, eyes wide after witnessing the final seconds. "She attacked us," he yelled, but the phones had caught everything. Talia didn't flinch. She didn't need to. The truth was already spreading, not just about the attack, but about who she was. She trained 6 days a week, that she could disarm grown men, that she wasn't some fragile figure, they had just been too blind to see her power. The bullies looked small now. She had defended herself without cruelty, without anger, just calm control. The principal turned to Talia. "Are you okay?" She nodded, but the room would never see her the same again. Talia's story went viral. The videos were shared not just by students, but by martial arts instructors, disability advocates, and even Olympic athletes. Interviews followed. Her once silent strength was now a voice for thousands who had been mocked, ignored, or underestimated. Bryce and his crew were suspended and, more importantly, humbled. Talia didn't celebrate their downfall. She focused on training, eventually earning a spot on the national team. She became a symbol, not just of resilience, but of what happens when society finally pays attention to those they try to erase. Because Talia wasn't just a disabled black girl in a chair, she was a warrior, a leader, a prodigy. And to anyone still doubting her, she had one message: never mistake quiet for weakness. If you enjoyed this story and thought it provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Take care.